Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Arcus, and today we'll be talking about a problem many artists have when your hand cannot produce what your mind sees. So you have this great image of this drawing in your head, and then when you actually go to draw it, it doesn't come out the way you wanted it to, and it's often discouraging and frustrating for that to happen. And when it comes to me in particular, I have this habit of kind of just drawing the same thing over and over again, and I draw the sketch, and if there's something glaringly wrong in the sketch, because, it is your foundation layer, I go back and change that, but as I have done the lines, as I do the coloring, if I see things that are wrong, I tend to kind of not want to change them. I don't really experiment a lot. I just kind of take it as it is, and that really limits me creatively, and it's kind of been detrimental to me recently because I've been in a artistic rise. I don't know, like I've been wanting to try all these new creative things, and then I've kind of shied away from them because I know that what I see in my head is not what it's gonna come out on the paper, and that kind of, makes me not want to do it, and so I stick with what I'm used to, which is usually like characters, like one character on a white screen or something like that, and that's not really gonna get me very far. And so, I was sitting about it and thinking about it, and I've realized that, what I'm afraid of, and I think what a lot of artists are afraid of when this happens, is they're kind of just afraid of failing, failing to draw what they think is perfect in their head. And when you fear failure, you stick to what's easy and what you know to do, because then your chance of failure decreases. And then when you do try something new, like once you get past that first hurdle, when you hit that block of like, I don't know how to color well enough, or this composition or the lighting or whatever is just not good enough, you give up, because the art itself is going to turn into a failure. But in a sense, you giving up is the true failure here, because that attitude of just, giving up when things get hard and not trying new things because it's not going to look like what's in your mind, it's not going to get you anywhere as an artist. If you really want to, make a living out of out of art, or going to art school or whatever, you have to kind of fully embrace that failure, because although the artwork might not have turned out how it looks in your head, and honestly, even artists who are super good at what they do, who have been drawing for years and years, I'm sure many of them still have the same problem, where they see something in their head, and then when they draw it, it doesn't turn out that way, and that's perfectly fine. Sometimes you might find that you're doing it better. Sometimes it's the difference, and it gives you a different feeling, like a different vibe from the drawing, but it's a cool vibe, and you don't know if that's gonna happen unless you try, unless you first go through and push through that fear, and push through, like, you see that your drawing doesn't look good, but you know what, if you keep going at it, eventually something might click and it'll look really, really, really good. And this feeling is kind of why I chose this drawing in particular to kind of like talk over, and I know I haven't really said anything about it quite yet, but this drawing, I just was inspired. I saw this girl in class who had a white pen, and she was drawing on her darker skin, and I loved the contrast between the white pen and the dark skin, and I was really weird about it, and I just kind of walked up to her and I was like, hey, I don't know you, but can I take a picture of your hand? And she was totally cool about it, and we like introduced ourselves. It was great. But yeah, I she let me take a picture of her hand, and when I was looking at it, she had all these like stars and lines and flowers drawn, and it made me think of like, what if someone was touching someone else's skin and kind of leaving behind a trail of stars or flowers, like it's a very, well, the image that came into my head was very sensual. And I have these two characters that I've kind of been playing around with them being together. I don't often make couples out of my characters, but I'm thinking about it. All of those things combined when it came to this particular drawing made it so that I didn't want it to be very obvious who the characters were. Therefore, I have this composition that's very cropped on their bodies, like, and I wanted the hands to be the main focus. So in my mind, I had this idea of it's very sensual, of how they're almost touching but not quite, just like the fingertips grazing and causing this explosion of stars on the one's skins, like the darker person's skin. It's a woman. And so the drawing had a lot of, sexual tension, and it's all these things that I don't draw. I don't usually draw bodies so close, like cropped together. I like having the entire body showing. I don't usually put so much focus on the hands because I don't really know how to draw hands. I don't usually have two characters interacting because it's really hard to make it feel like they're in the same space. But you know what, I pushed through all that. I tried redrawing the beginning, the sketch over and over and over again, starting to add colors, seeing if I liked it or not, and then completely changing it. And then I spent a lot of time on the line art. I took my time. And there were often times I wanted to give up, like with the man's hand in particular, the white hand, because it's not as sensual as I wanted it to be. It doesn't feel like he's lightly touching her. It's just kind of like it's there. And that was kind of something I didn't see that in my mind, and it was frustrating that that wasn't coming out on paper. But I kept trying and trying and trying at that hand, and eventually, I did the best that I could, and that's all that matters. And in the end, I am very satisfied with this drawing. Now, it's not what I saw in my head, and it's not perfect, but it's probably never going to be. And I learned a lot from drawing this drawing. I played around with the hands, I played around with the background. I kind of added this satin sheet because initially it was going to be just like a one color background, but that didn't work well, so I kept at it until I found something that did. And so although this drawing is not everything I necessarily wanted it to be, there's a lot of good things in it, and I can see how I've improved when doing it. And I know that if I continue doing drawings like this, where I really push myself to break the boundaries that I have set myself, even if I fail, I will just get better as an artist overall. And so this is just something I wanted to share with you all, and maybe it'll help you in your artistic journey to fear failure a little less, because a lot of good things, a lot of good creative things come out when you potentially fail in your artistic journey. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Oh, and real quick, I just wanted to say, I'm moving my videos to Saturdays. I've been posting on Fridays, and I think I'll just appreciate having the entire work week and then posting on a Saturday. We'll see how that goes, but expect my next video to be on Saturday, and probably from now on they'll be on Saturdays. Alright, thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye!